Have you ever sat quietly in your home, sunlight streaming through the window, and felt the weight of the silence settle around you? Once the quiet may have felt like a blessing, a soft reward after decades of responsibilities, rushing, and noise. But over time, that stillness can begin to echo in the heart. The footsteps that used to fill the halls are gone. The phone sits untouched for days. Meals are cooked for one. And slowly, a question creeps in. Is this all that's left for me? If you've ever felt that ache, that hollow, wordless loneliness, please hear me now. You are not alone. And even more important, your story isn't over. In fact, this new season of life holds a quiet kind of magic, the chance to reconnect with yourself, to build new meaning, to feel alive in ways you might not expect. Today, we're going to walk through simple, heartfelt ways to turn this chapter into one of richness, connection, and deep peace. Not by pretending loneliness doesn't exist, but by learning how to meet it with love, strength, and intention. Before we begin, I invite you to stay with me until the end. Somewhere in these next few minutes, you might find exactly the message your heart has been needing. And if you feel moved along the way, I would be honored if you'd leave a comment sharing your thoughts, even just a word, so we can remind each other we are never truly alone. Let's begin. Let's begin with something that may sound small, but changes everything, creating structure in your day. When you're living alone, there's no alarm clock buzzing for work, no little ones to wake up, no packed calendar pulling you out the door. At first, that freedom can feel wonderful, a wide open sky with no demands. But over time, too much unstructured time can quietly turn into a trap. The days start to blur together. You lose track of the last time you cooked a real meal, put on proper shoes, or stepped outside just to feel the sun. You tell yourself you'll do it later, and later stretches longer than you meant it to. That's what happened to Margaret, a 75-year-old widow living in Ohio. After her husband passed and her children moved away, she spent her first few months enjoying the quiet, sleeping in, staying in pajamas until noon. But little by little, that peaceful quiet turned into something heavier. She told me once with a sad smile, "It's like I was living but not really alive." You don't need a rigid schedule to feel alive again, just a gentle rhythm. Wake up at the same time each morning. Make your bed, even if no one but you will see it. Brew your coffee or tea, and sit by the window, noticing the color of the sky. Plan something small for the morning, afternoon, and evening, a walk around the block, a call to an old friend, a favorite meal to cook just for you. That little bit of structure can bring back a sense of purpose to your hours. And purpose, even the smallest kind, is what lifts you when life feels quiet. If you're still with me, would you do me a small favor? Comment one below to let me know you're ready to create days that feel meaningful again. Now, speaking of creating, let's take a closer look at the space you're living in, because sometimes the walls around us can shape the way we feel more than we realize. When you live alone, your home can either comfort you or quietly drain you. And often, you don't even realize it's happening. The clutter gathers. The photos stay crooked. The chair you used to love sags a little more each week. Rooms you once filled with family dinners and holiday laughter now sit silent and untouched, doors half closed like memories you're not sure you want to revisit. It's easy, so easy to stop caring. To tell yourself, what's the point? It's just me now. But here's the truth. Your surroundings reflect how you feel about yourself. And you deserve to live inside a space that feels alive. A space that reminds you every day, I am still here. I still matter. I remember meeting Harold, a soft-spoken 78-year-old man from Montana. After his wife passed, he closed off the living room they used to sit in, shutting the door as if to preserve it like a museum. Months turned into years. Dust settled in corners. Curtains stayed drawn. It didn't feel like a home anymore, he told me. It felt like a waiting room. And so, one lamp at a time, one song at a time, Harold brought his house back to life. He opened the curtains. He played old jazz records on Sundays. He bought himself a bright orange cushion for his favorite reading chair, even though no one else would see it. He made his space a place that nurtured him, not just reminded him of what was lost. You can start small too. Clear off one corner of a table. Wash one window. Frame one photo of a memory that makes you smile, not ache. Light a candle that smells like fresh laundry or blooming roses. Put on music while you cook yourself breakfast, even if it's just eggs and toast. One tiny change at a time. You're not just refreshing your space, you're refreshing your spirit. Because when your surroundings feel warm and alive, you will too. If you're feeling inspired to make just one small change today, comment 2 below. It's a simple way to promise yourself you deserve a space that feels like home. And now, while we're thinking about our surroundings, let's talk about something even more important, the way we move through them. And while we're on the subject of surroundings, let's talk about something that's even more personal, how you move through them. When the world gets quieter and lonelier, it's tempting to sit more, rest more, pause more. You sit to watch the news. You sit to eat. You sit to think. The chair becomes a second home, soft, familiar, safe. But deep down, your body still remembers movement. Movement isn't just about exercise. It's about feeling alive. It's about reminding your muscles and your spirit that you still belong here, that you still have strength inside you. Even the smallest movements can breathe life back into you. I think of Evelyn, a 74-year-old woman from North Carolina. After a bad winter kept her indoors for weeks, she realized she hadn't truly stretched her legs, felt the sun on her face, or heard her shoes tapping the pavement in far too long. I felt like I was shrinking, she said. Like the walls were getting closer and I was disappearing a little more each day. And so she started simply. Each morning before getting out of bed, Evelyn would stretch her arms high over her head. She'd roll her ankles, flex her toes, feel her own skin, waking up. She walked to the mailbox and back. Then a little farther, to the old oak tree 2 houses down. And before long, she found herself dancing in her kitchen on Sunday mornings again, no one watching but her own smiling reflection in the window. Movement is a declaration. I'm still here. I'm still living. You don't have to run a marathon. Stretch in bed before you rise. Sway to a favorite song while you wait for your tea to steep. Walk to the end of the block and back, lifting your face toward the breeze. Every step, every stretch, every sway, it's a way of saying yes to your own life. If you believe your body still deserves to move with joy, no matter what, comment 3 below. Let's remind each other that aliveness isn't something you lose, it's something you nurture. And now let's talk about something even more powerful than moving your body, moving your heart toward others. And now, let's move into something even more powerful, connecting with others intentionally. When you're on your own, it's easy to believe the lie that you've been forgotten, that people are too busy, that you've become invisible in the rush of their lives. It hurts. It aches in a place you can't quite explain. But connection isn't something you have to wait for. It's something you can create, even now, even gently, even with trembling hands. I think about Robert, an 80-year-old veteran from Kansas. After his wife passed and his children moved out of state, he spent nearly 2 years without a single visitor. I thought people just didn't care anymore, he told me once, voice rough with emotion. But then I realized they didn't even know I needed them. So Robert took a deep breath, gathered his courage, and did something he hadn't done in a long time. He picked up the phone. He called his neighbor, Mrs. Green, a widow he hadn't spoken to much. The conversation was short, a hello, a bit of awkward laughter, an offer to meet for coffee. But that simple call opened a door to weekly chats, shared meals, and even small adventures to the farmer's market on Saturdays. Reaching out doesn't have to mean pouring out your soul to strangers. It can be as simple as a smile at the grocery store. How are you? Asked with real curiosity. A card in the mail. A wave across the street. Connection starts with the smallest brave moment, and it can lead to something beautiful you never saw coming. You are not invisible. Your voice is still needed. Your presence is still a blessing. If you're willing to take even the tiniest step to reconnect with someone this week, comment 4 below. You never know who might be waiting for you to go first. Now, while we're here, let's talk about something even closer to home, the way we talk to ourselves. Sometimes the loneliest place isn't the room around you, it's the voice inside your head. When life gets quiet, when visitors stop coming, when plans fall away, it's easy for the mind to turn against itself. The voice starts whispering regrets. It replays old mistakes. It points to the empty chair at the table and says, "See? No one needs you anymore." But that voice doesn't tell the truth. And you have the power to change the conversation. It starts small, catching yourself when the thoughts turn dark. When you hear "I'm useless," pause and whisper instead, "I'm still here. I still matter." When you hear "no one cares," answer gently, "I care." And that's enough for today. Your heart listens to the words you say inside yourself. Self-kindness is an indulgence. It's survival. It's planting seeds of hope where despair once grew. It's telling yourself day after day, "I deserve peace. I deserve joy. I deserve a life that feels good even now." You've spent your life lifting others. Now is the time to lift yourself too. If you're willing to speak one kind word to yourself today, comment 5 below. Let's remind each other that healing starts inside. And speaking of healing, there's something beautiful about finding something or someone to care for. When the walls feel too quiet, one of the most powerful ways to bring life back into your days is to care for something beyond yourself. It could be a houseplant that leans toward the sun when you water it. It could be a rescue cat that curls into your lap, trusting you with its tiny heartbeat. It could even be a neighbor, an elderly friend who needs a ride to the store, or a listening ear over coffee. Caring for something rekindles that deep human need to nurture. It pulls you gently out of your own sadness and reminds you life still flows through you. Life still needs you. Gloria, a 77-year-old retired teacher from Oregon, adopted a stray dog when loneliness had just about broken her spirit. That little dog, scruffy, nervous, tail tucked low, needed her. And in caring for him, Gloria found that she needed herself again too. She had a reason to get up, to go outside, to smile at strangers at the dog park. One small creature stitched her days back together. You don't need to adopt a pet to find this magic. You can nurture a garden. You can mentor a young person. You can help at the library or read stories at the local school. Life finds a way to bloom through your hands when you give it the chance. If you feel ready to care for something, even something tiny, comment 6 below. Because the world still needs your love. And now, let's turn towards something even more freeing: creativity. When days stretch long and silence feels endless, one of the surest ways to break the cycle of loneliness is to create something. Paint, bake, write, knit, build birdhouses, plant flowers. Creation is how your soul whispers to the world, "I'm still here. I still have beauty inside me." It doesn't matter if you think you're talented. It doesn't matter if no one else ever sees it. What matters is that you give yourself a way to pour out the feelings too heavy to carry. You take the invisible ache inside you and turn it into color, flavor, rhythm, life. Creation is an act of hope. It's a spark you strike against the dark. Dennis, an 82-year-old retired mechanic, found healing in making wood carvings after his wife passed. "They're not fancy," he shrugged. But the shelves of his small apartment were filled with tiny boats, soaring birds, simple crosses, all shaped by his hands, all witnesses that he was still building something in this life. Create badly. Create joyfully. Create for no one but yourself. Your soul doesn't care if it's perfect, it only cares that you try. One thing many people stop doing when they're alone is laughing. The world seems heavier. The losses seem bigger. Joy starts to feel like a luxury you're not allowed to have anymore. But laughter is medicine. Laughter is proof that life still flickers inside you, even on the hard days. Find it again. Seek it out. Watch a silly movie. Listen to an old comedy album. Reread a funny book you loved as a child. Call a friend who always makes you chuckle. Let yourself laugh, even if no one else is in the room. Barbara, a 79-year-old grandmother from Georgia, swears that the best thing she ever did after becoming widowed was starting laughing lunches with a few other widows from her town. They met every Thursday not to grieve, but to swap stories, bad jokes, and favorite memories. "They save my spirit," she said once, laughing through tears. You deserve laughter. You deserve lightness. You deserve to feel moments of weightlessness, even now. Let joy back in, even if just for a little while. And yet we have to acknowledge there will be moments when sadness comes. When you hear an old song, smell an old recipe, or see a photo tucked away, and grief rises up like a wave you can't outrun. Let it. Grief is not your enemy. It's proof that you love deeply. It's proof that you were part of something beautiful once. Cry if you need to. Speak their names aloud. Tell their stories. Light a candle. Write them a letter. Grief may never fully leave, but it doesn't have to be the only thing you carry. Invite hope to sit beside it. Let joy have a seat at the table too. You are allowed to miss the people you loved and still reach forward into the life that remains. One of the most life-giving acts you can offer yourself is to give something to others. Not because you have to, but because generosity reminds you that you are still needed. You are still powerful in ways that matter. Volunteer a few hours at the local library. Cook a meal for a new neighbor. Send a card to someone going through a hard time. Offer to teach your skills, baking, sewing, storytelling, to a younger generation. The act of giving heals loneliness from the inside out. It turns empty spaces into bridges. And don't be afraid to ask for help yourself when you need it. Reaching out is not weakness. It's courage. It's choosing connection over pride. You were never meant to carry everything alone. And perhaps most importantly, never stop dreaming. Dreams are not just for the young. Dreams belong to the living. And you, my dear friend, are still very much alive. Maybe it's learning to paint. Maybe it's taking a trip to a place you've always wanted to see. Maybe it's starting a book club or learning a new language. Maybe it's dancing barefoot in your living room without shame. The dream doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be yours. Picture something new. Feel it light up inside you. And take one brave, tiny step toward it. You might just surprise yourself. If you've made it this far with me, it means something beautiful. It means you still believe in yourself. It means you're still open to hope, even on the quieter days. Being alone isn't a punishment. Sometimes it's an invitation, an opening to come home to yourself, to rediscover your own rhythm, to remember your own beauty. You are not just filling time. You are creating life, even now. One small act of courage at a time. One breath at a time. Loneliness may visit, but doesn't have to move in, because your heart still beats with purpose. Your hands can still create. Your laughter can still echo warmly inside your walls. Wake up tomorrow and ask yourself, what can I do today that makes me feel alive? The answer will be there. In a walk, a song, a letter, a cup of tea by the window. This is not the end of your story. It's a softer chapter, yes, but one filled with quiet magic. If this message touched your heart today, I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Share one small thing you'll do for yourself this week. And if you found comfort here, please give this video a like. It helps others find this space too. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, where every week we walk this journey together with honesty, strength, and soul. You are not alone anymore. We're walking right beside you. Here's to your peace. Here's to your hope. Here's to the beautiful life that is still unfolding right here, right now. You've got this, and we believe in you.